next season. I know, I told my husband it was the first Sunday after the big game, and I said, babe, can you believe there's no football today? He said, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next few months. So if you wanted to stock up, definitely check hsn.com. But you know what, for the next few months, or coming up in the next few months, I think some of the best times of the year, because soon the weather's gonna start to warm up. And we're gonna have our get-togethers, and their friends are coming over, and we're gonna have our parties and our graduation, parties and get-togethers. And when there's a party, food and drink and music, I will say those three things are the most important things when it comes to a party. Food, drink, and music. I've got the drinks covered right here with ice, because this is from Improvements, and this is your portable ice maker machine. This is going to save you from running out of ice. It's gonna save you from having to store and take up your entire freezer just buying those bags of ice that you buy in the grocery store. It's gonna save you from having to make a grocery store run when you run out of ice, because it's not gonna be the case. This makes up to 28 pounds of ice in 24 hours. 28 pounds of ice. It makes small, medium, or large ice cubes, just depends on what you want. It's got electronic controls. It's not big. It's a compact design. It plugs into standard electrical outlets. You can put it pretty much anywhere. There's no draining required, which is also a good thing on this one. And the fact that it's got a 6 to a 15-minute cycle time, depending on the size of the cubes that you want. So let's say if you want smaller cubes, it can make them a little bit faster than if you're making larger cubes. It just makes sense in that way. You can use tap water, you can use bottled water, completely up to you. Perfect for barbecues and for parties and for when you're, out and about and you're having get-togethers. And usually it is the ice that runs out first. It's usually not the food. It's usually not the fun. It's usually the ice that you say, uh-oh, we're out of ice. And usually if you have to send somebody to the store, then they get pulled away from the party. And they're the ones who, are kind of not enjoying the fun. Sometimes, depending on how good the party is, you might not have anybody who's really kind of able to drive. At a certain point, it's like, well, we don't really have anybody who's able to kind of get away and go do an ice run. You don't have to do that when it comes to Improvements, because you're making the ice yourself. Up to 28 pounds of ice in 24 hours. Now, most of us might not really ever need 28 pounds of ice, but isn't it nice to know that this is powerful enough and fast enough and strong enough to be able to do that? Like I said, it makes ice starting in 6 to 15-minute cycles. So if you want smaller ice cubes, it can start to make those a little bit quicker. If you want them to be larger, it might take a little bit more time, but not much more than that. You can see the controls right there on the unit itself, and you can see the way that it's making the ice. And it just kind of drops down, and now you've got a basket of ice, and now you're ready to go. And also, I'm showing you the color right here. This one's called Ice Blue, no pun intended, but we also have it for you in grape, in silver, and in white. So you can get these in different colors. They also come along with a little ice scooper, which is really cute, and it comes with a cover. And so when you're not using this, because there might be times where it's party season and you're gonna have this out all the time, but then there might be a couple of months out of the year, whether you go on vacation in the summer or what have you, and you're not gonna really be using it for a little while, you cover it up and it stays nice and clean depending on where you store it. Again, we were showing you that it plugs into any just regular major 3-prong outlet. That's it. Nothing special, nothing extra, no adapters or anything that you have to buy. It's literally one plug to power it, and then you have your easy controls up front where you can select small, medium, or large ice cubes, and it tells you when to add water. Like, it really couldn't be simpler. It just really couldn't. Oh, and I love the idea when you're making smoothies and when you're, whatever it is, however you choose to, to kind of use and need to use more ice, you have this from Improvements that allows you to do that as well. And so beautiful, and I love that in that video it was showing you that ice blue just like the one you have right here. You even have a nice see-through top so that you can see how much ice is in the basket. You don't have to keep opening it up, because that's another thing. If you have a regular ice maker in your freezer, you don't know how much ice is in there until you open it up, and you're constantly opening that freezer door. With this, you don't have to do that. And depending on where your party is, maybe the party is out back and you need more ice, and you're constantly running inside the house, into the kitchen, into the freezer to get more ice, and back and forth and back and forth. Or if you have an outlet outside, plug this in outside. And now the party's outside, the ice is outside, you get to stay outside.